I was really pleased with told our guys of how we continue to play unselfish basketball, particularly after we had gotten a lead, a double-digit lead. I thought we were good in the beginning of getting out and playing in transition. Our tempo slowed a little towards the end of the first half. I thought it was okay to start the second half once we kind of cranked it back up. I thought we looked really good, and I think that's where this team's going to be able to play at its best, is out in transition. You know, we've got two really good ball handlers. We've got more than that, but obviously with the way Cam and Jalen Counter handle the ball and get out and run, it's important that the other guys do as well. I thought Torrey Austin was really good for his first college basketball game to get a double-double, used his size and his length. I thought we fouled them a little too much, paraded them to the free throw line. But all in all, a good game for us. And it was great having all the students from Rutherford County. I mean, our players fed off their energy. It's loud. It's real loud. It's ear-piercing loud. But that's what you want. That's what you want in your home environment, is to make it difficult for your opponents to come in and even concentrate to run plays. Because even our guys were having to look at hand signals for play calls, and it's important, and it's an environment that tests you. And I thought we did a lot of good stuff. Questions?
You mentioned getting out in transition. It's not just the guards getting in transition. A lot of big men were taking those first couple steps up court and finding an outlet pass. How big is having that part of the game for some of your forwards and centers this year to start those sort of breaks?
Yeah, it allows us to play fast. We actually talked about particularly when Torrey and Kamari are getting defensive rebounds for the other guys to get out and run with them. You've got some guys that are 6'8" and 6'9" that you want your guards to run back and get it from them before they bounce it a second time. Those two aren't that. And so we can continue to improve upon that. But when you've got a guy that can rebound it to the, like Torrey did today, but also has enough ball skill to lead the break, it just allows guys like JP to get out and play in transition, get lost in transition, if you will. Put downhill speed and downhill pressure on defenses, as opposed to, like last year, it was hard for him. It's a lot. The pace of play, because of a smaller rotation, our pace of play couldn't be that high. Now I think we've got enough depth to where our pace of play needs to be high, and those two guys allow us to do that.
First half, it seems like y'all built your advantage off of rebounding, in particular, really dominant on the boards. Obviously, there's a size difference today, but what did you see from your team on that part of their game?
Again, I think if you're going to be an upper-level team in your league at this level, you've got to be able to defend and rebound. If you can't, on both ends, you've got to be able to generate second-chance points on your end, and on the other end, if you're giving up second-chance points, you're in big trouble. And, you can defend. You guys have seen it. Team's going to have really good defensive possessions. You did everything right. Your first shot defense, as we say, is really good. They miss it, and they get a rebound and stick back anyway. And so on paper, it doesn't look like you're defending very well. You're not rebounding very well. And so we got to continue to harp on it.
Coach, you welcomed Cam back today. Obviously, very important piece to this puzzle. Talk about just what you saw out of him today and just how important it is keeping him healthy and keeping him in this lineup and how the lineup flows.
Well, I got this question quite a bit because our fans didn't get to see what we were seeing and watching last summer and last fall, was how is JP and Cam Weston going to play together? And you get to see it a little bit tonight, is they actually play really well off of each other. He just makes everybody else's job easier. Good point guards do that. They set the tempo of the game. They get the ball where it's supposed to be, on time and on target. And now, where JP had some obviously explosive offensive games last year, some of that you're trying to really, really work and generate it yourself. And now to have somebody else that can generate that for you, whether it be Torrey and Kamari out on the break, whether it be Cam out in transition, Jalen Counter out in transition. There'll be times where once Jalen Counter's not kind of on a minute count, and can play more minutes, we'll play those three together. The more you can have good ball handlers and multi-dimensional guys on the floor, the better.
Coach, you talked about the environment at home. How did you prepare your staff and players to play at a home environment like that?
Yeah, it's a good question. It was something that some of our veteran players talked about. Unfortunately, because of the way we were unable, based on the dates that we could play home games last year, we were unable to find somebody that would and could do it. And so fortunately this year we were able to get our Education Day game back on the schedule. And some of the guys who've been a part of it were basically warning some of our new guys, it's going to be loud, but it's not just like a roar loud. It's a high-pitched loud. It's ear-piercing loud. But it was fun. It was a great environment. Maybe hour and a half before the game, it was loud in there, so it was really fun.
Justin, you had 20 points today, picking up where you left off last year.
Yes, sir.
What was the mindset coming into this season after the offseason?
My mindset coming into this season was just to win. I know we have a lot of guys that's coming back, and we have Cam, he's fully healthy, and we got some new guys, so my mindset was just, win, be ready to go.
And Esam, this was your first Education Day game as a Blue Raider. Can you elaborate on what the experience was like? We saw you smiling a lot today, so can you kind of elaborate on your experience with it?
I was happy to be here. It's a great place. Going out and see all these kids around and see them smiling, screaming, cheering for us, it was amazing, and kids are here, so we're just gonna be happy, smiling all the time. We don't want to be here tension, have a straight face or anything. Enjoying the time, enjoying it. It was fun to be out there.
Justin, can you elaborate on what Coach said about how you and Cam worked together well today?
We always been like that. I mean, last summer, I wish he would have been healthy last year so y'all can really see what we had. But it's just a blessing to have him back. Us playing off each other just creates more and faster offense. It creates a faster flow, what Coach was saying. We can play in transition more. Things will be more simple for me. It's like a weight off my back from last year, just having him back with me,
It was really hard for him, particularly last year, just having to go from we needed him to score, and now you need me to score, but now you need me to play point guard too. And finding that balance can be a little tricky. How to be a scoring point guard, and when you've been kind of playing off the ball, now you not only change your mindset, but now you got to learn a whole new, learn the playbook from somewhere else. And so I do think though what has happened is it really helped him appreciate what those guys can do, but it's also expanded his game. Some of the plays that he's able to make with the ball in his hands now, again, just has another playmaking handler out there that can score it.
Esam, you had a double-double in not even 20 minutes on the court tonight. How does the depth of this team allow y'all to play at a pace where you can go as hard as you did, sort of in your time on the court?
I mean, it's pretty good to have 15 guys that all of us can play, All good teams have guys off the bench that can come in and do the same exact thing as the guys that started, and I feel that's a good thing to be, so you can't give how many minutes you play, 15, 20, and you might as well just give it all because the person that coming in is going to do the same thing. So just got to do what we got to do to double-double. I know as soon as I get sub, I know Luf and Fuzz going to do the same exact thing. So you just give it all, and you don't worry about what is the person going to come in because you know them. You don't know well, there's no one going to be less than you in the court.
And you touched on this a little bit in the opening statement, but Torrey Alston obviously double-double in his first collegiate game. What did that redshirt year give him that led to sort of that sort of production this early?
I think that he's also got he put in a lot of work. He really did. He came in last summer in June. The first day we put him on the scales, he was 179. And you look at him now and think he could probably afford to add a pound or two. But he's 205 pounds. So he's gained just over 25 pounds in that really almost 18 months now. And what it's allowed him to do is things that he could do skill-wise, but physically just couldn't take some of the bumps and the hits on drives. And, he's able to play a little more physical now. He's always had length and athleticism, but just not the weight or the strength to handle a college season. And the other part is he and Chris were the only two true freshmen with a team that had some older guys. Once Josh Agundale went down, it was just Chris and Jared Coleman-Jones were our only two bigs, so Chris had to play. I think an area where Torrey's had a real advantage is watching how hard you have to play and how well you have to prepare to win, watching Justin Buford and Jacob Johnson. Those two guys go hard. What you see on game day, that's not them saving it for games. If you come and watch us practice in the mornings, that's what those two guys look like. And so what it's allowed Torrey to do is see, like, I do have to get bigger and stronger, but that's also the way you have to prepare to play well. And he's really growing up fast, and he's going to be fun for some of our folks to watch.
Coach, JP and Trey shot the ball well from deep today.
Yep.
Obviously, Alec is out with an injury. What is the timeline and expectation for when he comes back?
Well, the expectation will be that he's a shot maker as well. I mean, that's what he is. He had to have an off-season surgery. He should be back in the coming weeks. Hopefully it's not too much longer, but he's really putting in good work rehabbing. So we hope to have him in the next couple of weeks, to be honest with you, well before Christmas. And again, it just puts a 6'5" shooter on the floor. I believe his worst season at the collegiate level from behind the arc's at 39.5%. And so if you can put a 40% three-point shooter out there, you got to make a decision sometimes when guys like this and Cam Weston are getting downhill. Do you stay on Alec Oglesby or do you help on the drive? So you just want to put pressure on the defense. And when you got a low block scorer like this and some of those guys on the perimeter, it allows you to be pretty balanced on offense. So that I think when he gets back, hopefully he can transition into the rotation pretty seamlessly.